straight into a spin. In a spin like this, the aircraft is actually totally out of control. It's yawing, pitching and rolling all at the same time. And that used to kill a lot of pilots during the First World War because they didn't know how to get out of one. It was a man called Park, an instructor with the Royal Navy, who figured out that what you don't do is put full power on and pull back, which is what people were doing. That just deepens the spin. So you keep spinning until you hit the ground, which obviously has unfortunate results. What you do is you take the power off and you shove the stick all the way forward. That unlocks the stall, the wings start flying again, and then you can recover from the resultant dive. Now David started his display at high altitude because he's doing what we call riding the gravity train. He's turning height into speed, back into height again. And he'll slowly work lower and lower and lower because this is a very high drag biplane with a very small engine in it, 130 horsepower Gypsy Major. Do you know they got the Tiger Moth? I don't know if you know this story, it's a great story. Some nasty engineers at Hatfield, the Havilland factory at Hatfield, they were producing an aeroplane called the Moth. Very, very famous light aircraft. Amy Johnson flew one all the way to Australia, would you believe, on her own. A Moth called Jason. And it was a very successful aeroplane, but the Royal Air Force needed a new trainer. And the trouble with the Moth was that if you were wearing a parachute, because the wings were straight on the original Moth, the top wing was above the front cockpit. So if you were wearing a parachute, it was very difficult to get in and out of. And so the Royal Air Force said, no, we can't have the Moth as a trainer. They did buy a few, which Central Flying School used. But they needed an aeroplane with a clear front cockpit. So a bunch of engineers at Hatfield snuck up on an unsuspecting Moth parked on the airfield and dragged it into a hangar, did terrible things to it. Cut the top wing off, they shifted it forward so it cleared tricky to fly. And that's what made it a brilliant trainer. Because in a training aircraft, you don't want an aeroplane that's easy to fly. You want an aeroplane that's easy to fly basically. But you want an aeroplane that's difficult to fly well, and that's exactly what this is. Dave Cyster, of course, has hundreds and hundreds of hours on this aeroplane. That's how we can do these wonderful manoeuvres with it. Very tight 360 there, showing you the turning radius. And that lovely Gypsy Major making a noise like a Singer sewing machine. Give him a big wave, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it very clearly. It's an open cockpit aeroplane. And he'd love to know you're enjoying the show. It's one of the great training aeroplanes of all time, this. I'm lucky enough to have flown one of these as well. And it is. It's like flying your grandmother. It really is. It's so sort of slow and gentle and sedate. You just can't force the aeroplane around to do things. It doesn't do things like that. It sort of says, oh no, I'm awfully sorry, I'm a Tiger Moth, I don't do that sort of thing. Downside of the engine. Oh, now that's kind of special. Oh, I do like that. Farewell loop and a wing waggle from Dave, many thanks. Ah, that's great.